John Calipari said today's game with Florida was big, but only if the Wildcats won. If they lost, well, then it was just another game.
It's Kentucky and Northern Kentucky. The Cats, the heavy favorites in this one, but John Calipari knows with a young team and the NCAA tournament, anything's possible. That's why he's asking his guys to keep it simple. Yeah, no verbal statements needed when you play that good down the stretch, Rick. Two things that stick out for me from this game: the defense from Kentucky down the stretch, the Malik Monk block, then the Bam Adebayo block. If there was ever a time to give the ball to Bam, it's tonight. Drew McDonald, Northern Kentucky's tallest player, he's 6'7".
I give up trying to figure out the weather here in Louisville. Jeremy, I'm talking to you over there. Yesterday, fans watched a game in shorts and T-shirts with temperatures in the 70s. Today, look at this. They were bundled up.
Yeah, and Tom, going into tonight's first-round game with Northern Kentucky, the Cats have put together a nice little win streak, 11 games in a row. And they're really starting to come together as a team. Well, still some issues for this Kentucky team, but I think John Calipari's right. They are playing better basketball. Rick, what do you see differently about these Cats now? Yeah, Tom, Bob Ryan, the great sports writer, had a saying when it came to the NCAA tournament. He said you could play this 10 times, there'd be 6 different results. I don't think that's going to be the case between Kentucky and Northern Kentucky. It's Kentucky versus Northern Kentucky. And one of the themes for UK all season long: get the ball inside to Bam Adebayo. If there was ever a time, this is it. Here's John Calipari on what Bam can do for the Cats.
Not gonna lie here, today's season opener for Louisville City was as weird as it was frustrating. Statistically, Louisville City did just about everything right and dominated St. Louis, but for no tangible reason, things did not turn out as they'd planned. They had a 3-run lead, keyword had. Lincoln Hensman giving up a bomb to Joe Denand. NC State ties it on the 3-run blast.
Kentucky making its 56th NCAA tournament appearance, only the first for Northern Kentucky. That one coming up at 9:45 tonight. The Kentucky Wildcats enjoying a day of R&R here in Nashville. On Friday, though, the fun begins here at the SEC tournament. Potentially 3 games in 3 days. And it starts with the Georgia Bulldogs in the quarterfinal. One last question before we go. Jeff Irby, the steakhouse in Cincinnati, has said it will give students free steaks if Northern Kentucky wins tonight. Rick, I'm putting you on the spot. Is there any way it's all-you-can-eat filet mignon for the North students? Well, Isaiah Briscoe very adamant that Malik Monk was not in a shooting slump the last couple of games. Listen, I'm not going to argue with him, but I will say this was a much different Malik Monk in semifinal action versus Malik Monk in quarterfinal action. Malik Monk, what is going on with this guy? He had 2 points. It was his second straight game in single digits. And since the Cats were again en route to Calipari's house when the announcement was made, they did not watch it on TV. Many heard the news through social media, and some heard it through Derek Willis, who, as I'm told, has the inside scoop. Well, offensively speaking, it was by no means a perfect game for the Kentucky Wildcats, but defensively speaking, this is one of their better efforts of the season.
All right, guys, Cats feeling good. Meanwhile, the same could not be said for Indiana. The Hoosiers headed into their game today with Northwestern, losers of 6 of their last 7. Every day, more and more rumors Tom Crean's days were numbered as head coach. Crean feeling the pressure. Going into IU's last home game of the season, his team fell behind early, but then exploded at the end of the first half. A 22-0 run capped off by this. Devontae Green at the buzzer. IU up 10 at the break. But Northwestern wasn't ready to fold. Second half, off the inbound, Scotty Lindsey. Tough layup. 11-0 run from the Wildcats. They led by 3, and IU was in trouble, but they wouldn't quit. Zip ahead. Hoosiers down 5 of the minutes ago. James Blackman Jr. to the rescue. A late 3 that cut the lead to 2 with 40 seconds to go. They get a stop, and then here, a chance to tie. Blackman, Thomas Bryant, jam, and the foul. He would make the free throw, so IU goes back up 1 with 2 seconds to go. Wildcats, one last chance. They had to go to the length of the court. They get it inbound to Bryant. McIntosh, his 3 just barely misses from half court. Somehow, IU wins this one, 63-62 the final. The Hoosiers stop a 5-game losing streak. Basketball team had their sights set in a double bye in the upcoming ACC tournament, but they're going to need some help. They entered today's game with North Carolina, a game out of the top 4 behind NC State. Cardinals looking to gain ground at the KFC Yum Center, where you see it was a pink out, pink shoes, pink jerseys. Annual Play for K game to raise awareness for breast cancer. A lot of emotion all around. The Cardinals certainly fed off of it. First half up 6. Mariah Moore, good look to Asia Durr for the layup. Durr at 28. Cardinals up 8. Tar Heels would keep it close for a little, but things open up in the second. Aisha Hines Allen, fancy footwork. She had 19. Cardinals up 13 at the break. Second half, Louisville having all sorts of fun. Up 27. Sydney Zambrata off the bench. 3 straight threes. Look at this. The bench going crazy. Cards get the win 87-57. They say whatever happens with a double bye, they're going to come ready to play in the ACC tournament no matter what.
Of course, you know, we want a 4 seed so we get a double bye in the ACC tournament. But if it doesn't fall our way, we're just going to play hard for those games that we have to play back-to-back. I think it's 3 back-to-back. So we just got to continue to fight and just play hard.
We're getting into the part of a season where, you know, one possession matters. You know, you've got to be smarter with the basketball. You got to know what you're doing defensively. And those are the things that I keep trying to harp on and trying to work with our team about.
And again, good victory for the Cardinals, who record-wise are now tied with NC State for 4th place in the conference after the Wolfpack lost today. The problem for U of L is that NC State owns the tiebreaker. Each team has 2 games left to go this year. The ACC women's basketball tournament gets underway March 1st down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Meanwhile, as it stands now, the Kentucky women would have a double bye in the upcoming SEC tournament, but that could change very quickly. 3 games left for the Wildcats, but their last 2 are against the best 2 teams in the conference. One last tune-up for those games. Cats also wearing pink today, welcoming in Florida. First period, UK came out focused. Evelyn Akator crashing the boards and cashing in. Kentucky up 5. The Wildcats led by 4 at the break. Third period now, UK taking control. One of 23 turnovers for Florida here. Michaela Epps in for 2 of her 14. UK up 6. Later in the quarter, Taylor Murray showing us how you break down a zone. Akator taking the contact, scoring anyway. She led the way with 19. Wildcats win 67-48. Tough one coming up Thursday against number 3, Mississippi State. All right, from the Kentucky women to the Kentucky men. The Wildcats picked up a 4th straight victory last night by beating Georgia, but it was by no means easy and by no means perfect. As John Lewis and Rick Bozich report, the Cats need their younger guys to grow up and grow up fast. Still plenty to play for in the SEC. Meanwhile, in the ACC, first place in the conference will be on the line this Wednesday when the Cardinals visit the Tar Heels. Tom Lane and Eric Crawford have more on the state of the Cards after their win yesterday over Virginia Tech. I'm looking forward to that one. Straight ahead, draws today were announced for sectionals for boys basketball in Indiana. We'll tell you who Romeo Langford, the New Albany Bulldogs, will match up with next. Equivalent of Selection Sunday for high school boys basketball teams in Indiana today. Draws for sectionals were announced this evening. Here's one we'll be keeping an eye on. Sectional 15 at Seymour. The host school opens up with Jeffersonville Tuesday the 28th at 6. That same night at 7:30, Romeo Langford, the New Albany Bulldogs, battle Jennings County. Winners play again Friday before the championship game the next day. More basketball now. 66th annual NBA All-Star Game just became final. LeBron James ready in New Orleans, and former teammates Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant getting along. They're still not talking, but that play was nice. West led by 5 at the break. Second half, former Cat Anthony Davis doing damage. Nice cut to the basket for the dunk. Then later, Durant to Davis. 52 points for Anthony Davis. That's an NBA All-Star record. He was named the game's MVP. 192-182 West. They did not play much defense. Switch it up to racing. Daytona 500 a week from today. You can watch it right here on WDRB. And today we found out who will start in front. Chase Elliott made it through back-to-back poles. The Daytona 500 with the fastest qualifying time today. He barely edged out former Hendrick Motorsports teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. The rest of the field will be set Thursday in the 2 qualifying races. And that is sports. I'm Mike Lissette. Tom Lane will be back here tomorrow night.